Alright, everything looks live. Let's see if the bot actually fires off today. Alright. What was I working on? Alright. So today I'm going to be working more on the Garrison buildings over here. You can see got a bunch of stuff kind of going on inside of here already. But there's a whole bunch of hallways that have been started and kind of go nowhere. This little shrine area, I'm probably going to enlarge it, but I'm debating moving it over here. Oh. Trimaximov. Thank you for the follow. I apologize, I probably butchered your name there. But how are you doing? So I think I'm gonna move this. And opposed to having the hole here, I'm thinking about doing some sort of light hole cutout on the roof. But I don't know, because this tower is going to cause issues with that. Or maybe I just put it over here? I'll play with that for sure. But I don't know what I want to do with it. That's the problem. Hey, you know what? I have an idea. I'm just going to duplicate this. We'll make a second version over here, and then I'm just going to keep the one I like. As opposed to like trying to revert later. Alright, so got that. Oops. There, Discord bot went off today, it looks like. Okay. Just gonna make sure that these line up still. Because I know this one's centered. And this is super placeholdery. This isn't actually what this god's gonna look like. This was an old representation of a different god that I got wrong in Wormsbane that I have since just kind of used as a placeholdery statue as I place stuff. The deity being worshipped in this shrine is essentially our god of war, without actually giving much away. Oh, I'm gonna close the door. There's a bird like flying around one of my windows, yelling in. Oh, that got really loud. There we go. Probably because I had my speakers way up. Okay, so I need... Oops, helps if I have snapping on. And let's... Huh. Okay. Weird. My grid snapping isn't doing what I want it to. And why isn't that working? What is going on? That works. What is going on here? Alright, I'm just gonna move. I really don't want to move that over there. Alright, for this test, I'm just going to do it this way. It'll be easier to clean up if I decide to remove it. Make sure these are actually snapped to the edges. These ones don't matter as much. Leave that there. Okay. So I'm just going to scale this for now. There we go. And I'll probably make this actually a larger hole. What is overlapping? Sometimes ProBuilder definitely has some weird geo issues, but whatever. Okay. So I'll say it's going to be here. And again, I'm just kind of doing this to test this out for now. This may get deleted in the next couple minutes, but we'll see. Actually, let's do it this way. Oops. I don't want to grab those. I'm going to grab these. And again, purely a test. I want to see how the lighting looks compared to this. I think if I stay with this, it's going to end up being a larger room in space, but we'll see. I've already got a lot of this stuff for this. A lot of the necessary stuff for this space that we had kind of planned out. Oop, that was... that was not what I was going for. Why... There we go. Much better. Okay. So again, this is probably going to be a little small. But for the for the Garrison area, I've got most of the current points of interest that we have listed. Hey, Montresor. How are you doing? Okay, let's pop in real quick. And then I'll probably play around with the lights a little bit. Oh, you know what? I think the server was being updated. And it might still be down. Hey, Zirkin. Oh, am I supposed to put on a goofy hat now? That was the one time I didn't actually prepare for this. Hold on a second. We'll do chainmail, because that's the one that's actually close. Cold. Oh, it's cold. Oh, that's really cold on my neck. Should have put the hoodie up. Actually, gonna do that now. Oh, God, that was cold. Not that I'm gonna complain that the weather's chilly or slightly cool and chilly again, because I like that. But oh man, putting metal on your neck that's cold is not fun. Hey, Radigar, how's it going? Looks heavy-ish? It's, I don't know, probably like 3 to 5 pounds, maybe. It's not that bad. Yep, looks like we will have to wait. I think the server is still being updated. So, while we do the waiting, let's go back in and... Oh, excuse me. Hey, Nicodemus. Let's go back in and play around with some more of these hallways and rooms. So, some of the stuff that I've been working on is getting more walls in here and stuff. So, I've kind of... These walls and these walls will all need these kind of like rampart parapet type things up along them. I just haven't done them yet. Added a way over here. Still need to get this bridged. I may end up just doing this in Maya though. Oops. I could have sworn I fixed... Oh, you know what? I fixed that and then I deleted another part of it. And I forgot to come back and fix it again. Well, let's fix that real quick while you see it. So I've been slowly replacing some of the geo in between the walls. That way I don't have, you know, if this is lower and this is higher, they're not affecting each other as much. I still need to do that over in this area. And it looks like something got moved over here. Oh, it was this one. Fixing it right now, but I'll probably be unfixing that later and breaking it. But since I saw it. So over here is going to be where some of the market buildings are going to be. And some of the buildings that we put, some of the stuff we had put in here has now been kind of, or had been putting over here, has now actually been able to fit inside the garrison. Like the temple is what I'm kind of playing around with today. So that will probably, sorry, my brain switched tracks. I saw chat. I'll talk to chat in a second. But anyways, this is going to open up more of this area. So we'll probably have some more of the marketplaces and stuff like that. I'm thinking I want to do some of the under ruins in this area. I'm debating whether it's going to be an entrance through here, like kind of continue to this edge over here, or maybe this rock edge wall will be sides of buildings, something like that, or maybe a combination of the two. But I'm also debating having some of the entrances to the underneath, so similar to this if anybody hasn't seen it. So boarded up areas where there's going to be older structures underneath. So this one's kind of like the roof essentially, of a building. This one you just can't get into. There's nothing in there. But it's kind of the facade that they're using the roof as the courtyard now. So we're going to do more of that throughout these areas. I'm thinking about maybe having like an underground passageway, or maybe like a secret underground passageway from the garrison into there. Probably not going to play with that today, but definitely probably going to play around with that as I keep going with this. Let's see. Nice chainmail. Is it 4-1 or 6-1? It's 4-1. Looking proper with the chainmail. Thank you. Morning, Goblin. Hello, just getting here. Kindly requesting you restart the stream. Haven't missed much. Just kind of started playing. Whoa, that is freaking out. Why is that freaking... Oh, that's probably why that was not... Alright, we'll leave that there for now. I need to fix the edge flow here. When I was messing with this, I screwed up the edge flow, so I need to clean that up. But, yeah. Sorry, I'm a little ADD today. Yeah, just kind of playing around with the interior portions in here, testing out where I want these statues. I just got to wait for the server to pop back up to actually get a preview of what it's going to look like. This looks freaking great. Awesome. Thank you. I'm going to spend so much time in this place. I'm hoping to as well. So another thing that I did yesterday is we have a prison in the outer wall here. So kind of high up. 2 levels. There needs to be, there's supposed to be a court in here, so I don't know if I'm going to put the court over here somewhere or in this big tower. That's really the last point of interest. We also need a quartermaster's office, so I kind of started the dock down here, the dock area, kind of like a big warehouse storage spaces. I think I'm going to maybe put some more off of them off into here, and then probably either make the quartermaster's office kind of a smaller building over here, or a smaller room over here, or maybe off of here, or potentially could turn one of these spaces up here into it, because they go kind of right down into the warehouse level. Yeah. God damn, I've been working. Yeah, I definitely have been doing a lot when it comes to playing with the layout of the garrison itself. So yeah, then this building is gonna have some, I don't know, like rooms that we could use. We put like, you know, it can be officer quarters, that type of thing. The tops of these are going to be treated very similar to how I did this. So, you know, be able to get on top of them, maybe some different level access, that type of thing. And then I'm kind of debating playing around with the elevation and not having that so flat. Maybe there's going to be some small recesses or some areas that kind of bridge up. Haven't really played with it too much yet. And then eventually, this isn't something I'll probably have roughed out in a while. I'm thinking about maybe putting like trebuchets or something up on top of these to kind of fill that out. And then we've got our chain that Hamad had mentioned for closing off the port. And I know historically this is not accurate. I debated doing it more accurately, where essentially it would be down low like this, where you'd only see a little glimpse of it under the water. When it would be open to ships, and then it'd be raised to close it off. But I thought it just looks more visually impressive to kind of have it up here. So I roughed that out yesterday, and then kind of created these low poly links, and kept it even kind of low. So I had done the initial box out as just like a box that I added like 3 segments to, essentially. And I kind of kept that to keep the kind of boxy, clunky look to it. So like you can see that's almost one big polygon. That's another polygon. That's the point. Another polygon. Another polygon. So it kind of keeps that old school kind of chunky aesthetic, and they're very low poly. Currently, there's no material on there. I just threw some vertex color on it, but yeah. So that'd be kind of cool, I think, if we have ships that are riding into the. I don't know if we're planning on having rideable ships going in and out of the dock here, but it's still kind of a cool thing to have giant chains, I think. Yeah, the water looks great. I love it. Although, right now I don't have the... I think I have to actually fly over to the post-processing for it. But, and then inside these, eventually, I don't know if I'll do that anytime soon or not. Maybe I'll probably just rough out the walkable space. But I am thinking about having kind of a wooden, almost like a wooden deck that kind of goes around the side of this, and then has like a turn wheel with big wooden spokes, so it looks like people could potentially go up and like push it and pull it, and then big gears and stuff on the wall, so it looks like there's some kind of, you know, engineering and machinery that kind of moves this up and down. But that's like... that type of stuff is going to be way off in the distance. The initial, like just boxing out the room will happen, you know, soon-ish. But all that kind of, like, set dressing stuff is very minor. So, that'll come later. I just stopped by to look on my lunch break. I got to head back. Looks great, though. Oh! Thanks, Nicodemus. You take care as well. The water actually looks so good. Yeah, John put that in and has been playing around with it. Definitely really like the water for sure. I'll take a glass of that, please. I believe it's salt water, so I don't know if you really want to drink that. By the way, the bot posted your stream in Discord. Not sure if Nick did anything or if it's because of Wednesday. Yeah, I double-checked earlier on the stream to see if it did it. So it's definitely working on Wednesdays, and we'll have to see next Monday if it actually fires off or not, because it hasn't done anything for me on Mondays. I think I want to bring these down. You'll still drink it? I have only been by saltwater a couple times in my life, and it doesn't... As much as I like salt, I was not a giant fan of saltwater. And that's like the salty taste that it puts on like your lips and stuff, not because I was sitting there chugging salt water. Although it can't be much worse than the Lake Erie water that is like close to where I live. that water is usually quite green and gross, but that's what you get when you live on the shallowest of the Great Lakes. All right, let's do a save. All right, so yeah, that's kind of what I've been up to and what I'm planning. So this again area is going to be more marketplace. Right now, you know, these guild halls are just kind of sitting there. I don't know where. I'll probably leave one of them somewhere in here. And then, yeah, so this whole area, I have to put marketplace stuff in. If we feel like it, I'm debating putting a bridge kind of across this gap here, and then playing with the elevation here so that we can have some more sprawl and potentially more marketplaces if we feel like it needs more. So yeah, you don't really think Lake Erie water counts as water. So I'm assuming you've seen it then at that point. Yeah, there's some grossness for sure. Okay, let's see if the zone or the server is back up. I haven't seen a message saying it's back up, but it's also been fairly long at this point. Been like a half hour. Oh, Southeast Michigan. So you've seen it, definitely. Yeah, it's definitely definitely green and brown the majority of the time. I used to actually like live back in high school. I lived on a apartment that overlooked the lake. It was awesome. Like watching all the freighters and stuff go by and water spouts and stuff like that, but most of the time it was green. There were some days it would be blue, but so I guess we're not jumping in currently. So let's go actually work on some of this box out stuff. Where do I want to begin? You know what? I think I'll finish out this area because this area is more kind of developed. So again, kind of thinking this is warehouse space. Kind of been kind of breaking it up a bit. I don't know if I want this to be a... Oh man, fighting my hiccups at the beginning of stream for once. Let's see. Oh, I missed some chat. Sorry, guys. Don't tell me what the goal time. Where does the nightlife happen? The clubs, the music halls, etc. Are you talking about for Night Harbor? Or are you talking about back in this area? Because actually the lakefront does have some clubs and stuff here, surprisingly. But for Night Harbor, I'm imagining more travelers like the inns and taverns and stuff over here. And then potentially some up over here. And then there's probably some shady taverns and stuff that'll be going on over here in the bends once we get to it. So those are the areas that I'm anticipating. But I mean, this inn here has a whole tavern roughed in already. So where's been grew up on the Gulf Coast of Florida. I know all about the boogie board to the stomach and swallowing a gallon of salty water. Ugh, that sounds awful. The boogie boarding part sounds awesome. But yeah, the getting a belly full of salt water does not sound appetizing to me. So I had this marked. Did I mark that? Oh, I was marking this for a tunnel out here. Let me actually do an extrude. Let's turn off the water before I start accidentally selecting it. And we will kind of move that in there. I'm thinking about, again, kind of having a tunnel system. It might not even be square. I may round these ones off since they're kind of lower down and kind of subterranean, similar to how this is kind of rounded. I might do something similar to these subterranean tunnels as well, but we'll see. So this, I'm thinking might go over to here or to here, and then also somewhere have a secret entrance to some of these underground ruins that'll be in this area that the city's kind of sitting on top of. Alright. So I got that. Let's go back down. So I've got that one. I'm going to use this. Just going to move it over slightly. This potentially could end up being that quartermaster's office, or you know, like I said, I'm giving myself a bunch of rooms, and we can kind of play around with where we want stuff to be in terms of mob population and stuff like that. I know we want to have some vendors here, but I kind of have like out here could potentially be areas that the vendors could be. I mean, the quartermaster could technically be out here too. And then here's going to be kind of like, oop, did I delete that? Not sure what happened here, but let's fix that real quick. Excuse me. So this is kind of like weapons storage area. So we're supposed to have a weapon merchant in here. Could technically be in here, or again could be out here. Out here is probably more accessible to everybody, so that might probably be the better decision. But we have options, and then up here are some rooms that do some like barrack style rooms. Probably have another one over here, and one right here. Where is it? Down here is more like probably gonna be like a mess hall area with a kitchen, and then kind of like a food store area. I'll probably add like the baking oven here as well, and maybe the grill top. So another area you could potentially go to do some trade skills. So let's see, 4x4 room should be big enough. Do I want these to connect? I think I do. So let's give ourselves an area for a doorway. Oop, that is not straight. Let's do it this way and clean up. Again, a lot of these edges are going to be cleaned up when I bring it into Maya, because it's just way easier to just select the edge loops and delete them, as it is trying to spend time and collapse everything down. I know occasionally I'll do it just because there's edges or something that are driving me absolutely insane with Pro Builder, but for the most part I see it kind of as a waste of time. something like that's easy enough to do. Okay, so we got those. And delete. And now we have a room to here. Maybe we do another one. Maybe we do it 2 doorways. Again, I'm just kind of freestyling this, so some of this stuff I may try, and then I may not like it, and I may just get rid of it. So 3 and 3. Get any weird edge loops? Okay, should be good for now. So we'll see how that looks. And 4. Okay. And we will delete those. And bridge that. Sorry, I'm totally neglecting chat today. Has there been anything else? Yeah, for Night Harbor, selling bowls of brown. Actually, I made a bowl of brown based off A Song of Ice and Fire cookbook years ago. I used to do like a meal for the launch of every season of Game of Thrones, for me and my friends my kids would participate in the meal. They wouldn't participate in the watching of Game of Thrones. They were and still are a little young for that show, but definitely was fun. I may have to dust off that cookbook again for the new series when it comes out later this year. Hey, Urshatari. How's it going? Nice armor, by the way. Is that real chainmail? Yep, it's real. It's just black steel. Although it looks like some of the finish is starting to wear off. So it's a little less black than it used to be, but reminiscent of the original EverQuest Paytas. Actually, hold on. I actually have a screenshot. Because actually, I think I showed it on my last stream that I was working on Maestro's. Whatchamacallit? I was working off of Maestro's organ, kind of using it and some other things as an inspiration for the organ I was doing. But yeah, I always dyed Paytas' armor black. Okay. I lucked out being young. They didn't have to watch Season 8. Yeah, Season 8 was so disappointing. Oh, so disappointing. So many character arcs built up over years just to be thrown away. With no real payoff, and then so many arcs just started and then abandoned. I don't know. I mean, that's a lot to... I get the... It's a lot to manage over the years, but I really wish if D&D did not want to continue to develop the show, that they just passed it to someone who did, so that they could have actually given the series the the ending it felt like it needed. Which, honestly, it could have ended the same way. It just needed time. Because nothing felt earned or well-paced in those last seasons. Do I want this to go all the way? Maybe a small room off the side? Yeah, I knew he didn't. He had begged HBO to do at a minimum 10 seasons, I think. And I know I've heard him say that to do this story actual justice, it probably should have been 13 seasons. But yeah. I just wish he would actually finish his books. I feel like I've been waiting. Well, not just I. We've all been waiting. Anybody who's reading it has been waiting for Winds of Winter for ever at this point. Oh, Ishutari, thank you for the sub. Appreciate the support. Oops. The one thing you just got to pay attention to while you're modeling this way is that you don't start modeling stuff and let it go through the wall. Although there will be times I will use that going through the wall to like mark where I need to cut through on the other side. Let's go. Hey Keith, how's it going? What's good in chat? Just kind of working on the innards of the Garrison right now. I wanted to hop over. Still down. Oh, looks like there's some issue with the update. So it may be a bit before I can hop into the game to test the one part I wanted to test. So we got that. Let's give ourselves some geo to make a door. Actually, let's... Yep, hit the wrong hotkey. So you can see how I'll, if you guys haven't noticed me do that before, sometimes I'll do this just so I can see where to cut my next edge loop. And let's straighten this edge loop so that the next one is just straight right out of the gate. There we go. So now I can delete that. Grab that and do that. Eventually I need to clean up all these floors so that they'll align better, but for now it's fine. A Dance with Dragons had only been out for 3 years when Pantheon launched its Kickstarter. That is also true. The Ranger emote is locked? I don't remember how the emotes are set up. I need to address the way they're set up. And I want to add some more because some of those were like the LFG and stuff. Some of those were just kind of randomly thrown in there just to have something. So I need to actually take time and develop some of those now that I have a little bit more time. since I turned grades in on Monday. So yeah, 2 days ago. Yesterday was the first day where I didn't have anything to do for teaching, which was lovely. Minus emails and that kind of fun stuff. Do I want to use that space? Let's do that. That should be fine. Okay, so we got some like warehouse looking stuff. I may, again, play around with this more once we are able to run around. If it doesn't feel right, it needs more space, less space, that type of thing. I'll tuck this back here. Gives me another space to stack crates. By the end of this city, I will be able to put Master Crate Stacker on my resume. Did you ever use the Source or Hammer editor from Valve? I played around with it a little bit when I was in college. I can't remember if I was doing it or I was going to do a Team Fortress map or a Counter-Strike map or something like that. And then I changed the idea of the project and did something else. I think that might have been in Unreal. But it's been a long time since I've done anything with Source. Long time. And I was never really that deep into it, to be honest. Same with Crysis. I played with the Crysis engine a little bit long ago. But I already knew Unreal at that point and was like, I'm just gonna stick with Unreal. Okay, so we got that. Probably could put another room here. And we even have a doorway cut, so let's just do that. But the first game engine I learned back in college, I don't know why, but we learned the Torque game engine, which, if you are not aware of it, it's not a great engine. I think the most well-known game that was made on it was probably Tribes. Pretty sure Tribes was made on it, but yeah, it was not a great entry into level building. Not a great software to learn really how to do level design and stuff like that. Definitely better tools out there. And then I guess technically the second one I learned would be Torque Game Engine Advanced, which really wasn't that different. It was better shaders and lighting and stuff like that, but it was still kind of behind the curve when it came to like Unreal 3 and Unity back then. And then I got into Unreal 2 and 3, somewhere around there. I think I played around with 2 while I was learning Torque, and then when 3, when I found out that I could play around with 3 with mod kits, I just started building stuff in Gears of War and Unreal Tournament. This is looking really good. Thanks, Rediger. Appreciate it. Dude, I have to make a game in an... dude, I had to make a game in the Neverwinter Nights engine in like 2018. You modded Gears? Yeah, I actually had started playing around with modding Gears as a project for my thesis. And then I had all sorts of issues. And it ended up just becoming a trailer. I didn't get around to actually modding the gameplay all that much. So it ended up being more of like an environment study of like a post-apocalyptic area in the end. I had a hard drive crash on me, and I had my files get corrupted 2 or 3 times. It was a real good lesson in source control and backing up your work. Because yeah, I had to basically rebuild my level like 3 times, 2 or 3 times. 2 times from scratch, and then another time from a backup. Now I'm having like nightmare flashbacks to trying to get all that built back out. Alright, I don't know if I want these to just meet like this. Probably not, but I just want these to actually, like, meet. So, this will probably end up changing. But I do want there to be... some form of connection between these two. Because there currently is not. Oops. Are these 2 different? Oh yeah, they're 2 different. Let's make them 1 for now, even though eventually they won't be. Because eventually, some of this stuff will get broken up a little bit more than it is right now. I just keep it together for the most part as I'm moving stuff around just to make my life easier. But if we have them individually broken up, the engine should be able to call like pieces when they're being occluded. Over because I don't have edge loops for them. I've been considering that goblin, but in the end, does it matter? What did I miss? Don't mod the Neverwinter engine. It's yikes in my opinion. Yeah, I can imagine. Also, that's sick. I played so much Gears. Yeah, I played a bunch of it when it first came out, but I was also in college, so a bunch to me then was different than a bunch now. Okay, so we got that. Although I didn't play much multiplayer, I just played the campaign a ton. What is going on here? Ooh, are there faces? No. Something got messed up, because that did not look like that earlier. Just delete those and see if this fixes it. Okay. Problem solved. Oops, maybe not. There we go. And we will snap those back together. Ooh, this whole room did. Watch me sit here and clean this up real quick, and then I opt to do the other style. Okay, that worked too. Apparently the UVs just got messed up. It wasn't the geo. So, the difference between these, and again, the statues are super placeholdery. From this way, more of a sunrise hits the statue. And then this way would be more of like a 12 noon would hit the statue. So actually, let's line this up better, because I just kind of arbitrarily did this at the beginning, and I didn't actually check the depth on anything. And these rooms need to more than likely be adjusted in scale. So this would actually probably be... Ooh, you know what? I have that centered, but I have it centered from that side. Centering it from this side would actually be more like there. Oops, hold on a second. What am I grabbing? Oh. Let's break these off now, because these are no longer needed to be part of that. Oops, actually I don't want to grab that whole thing. And we'll detach that. Actually no, let's leave it there for now. We'll detach it like this. There we go. Don't mod. Oh yeah, I never heard that. Subtle Linkin Park reference. Dude, I found super jealous to do level design for this game. Super jealous you get to do level design for this game. Yeah, I honestly, I've really enjoyed it. It's been a lot of fun. Still have stuff to figure out for sure. And something, you know, like Night Harbor is a lot. I mean, there's a lot going on. With all these little nooks and crannies, and the walls take a little longer than even I anticipated, just because there's like all these small little changes and stuff like that. A lot of it can be duplicated and rotated and stuff like that, or mirrored, but there's definitely little areas that need more, some more TLC to kind of really get the point across. And eventually I think that the upper portion up here will need addressing too, but I may just get these interior like towers and stuff worked out and then leave this area for later. Yeah, Night Harbor is gigantic. It is nice though, because there are areas of it where like you come over here and you get like this angle, and you just, it's nice to see it's starting to feel like a city. Like there's all these different elevation changes, and then the perspective looking down, it's really starting to get that kind of that feeling, even though it definitely needs a prop pass and a texture, like a full texture pass and planning and stuff done for it. And then, you know, more of these sails and stuff will help add stuff to that. Some of the minets, like the towers that we were talking about, will also kind of push that. But slowly but surely, it's starting in places to feel like there's stuff going on, which is awesome. And again, for anybody who's newer to the channel or hasn't caught up on it recently, the plan of attack is really just to kind of work this area here. So starting from the west and kind of working it in. That way we have kind of enough places. A lot of the class trainers and stuff are going to be in here. So this is kind of like the major tackling of stuff. And then probably head into this area next when it comes to Night Harbor. Because there's more class trainers and stuff in this area. So kind of getting those functional spaces done first. And then, I don't know, maybe into the Necropolis area. Because I think there's some class trainers and stuff that are supposed to be in the Necropolis area. Which is super, super rough shape right now. And then, you know, also touching on, like, prop passes on Wormsbane. So if anybody hasn't seen Wormsbane from my last stream, or Sean's stream, been kind of doing some touch-ups here. So we got a better light. Also the geo kind of fits more from how we have it kind of coming from outside. Eventually we want to get the lighting kind of tied into the day-night cycle. So like if you are transitioning from a interior dungeon zone to an exterior, you'll get some light, you know, some lighting that reflects on what the time of day is, which I think will be pretty cool. Hold on, I just noticed I'm missing more chants. I hope you have days off, Betis. Thankfully, yes. I am on my summer break as of Monday. Got all the grades turned in. We both have second jobs, because obviously this is a priority, right, Betis? Well, actually, I have several jobs, but I do have a lot more availability now, which is awesome. And then also started playing around with some of these cobwebs from textures that Goblin did, and then I atlased them and kind of built them out into shaders. Started kind of doing the broken up EQ style floors in places. Did it more so in the upper levels, and may transition it down into the lower areas as well, but the upper areas at least have more of an area now. And then, if you guys missed my last stream, the chapel got some banners, although we need to get the textures. Actually right now this is just the cloth material, which potentially could be used, but will need to be scaled more to fit the UVs I have set up for this. And then we need to figure out what the heraldry looks like for the Wormsbane Crusaders. And then kind of did a rough in of our statue for this god, which I still am not going to reveal the name because I don't think it has been. And then worked on this organ, which, why is my shadows popping weird now? And why is my... I really hate when Unity's cameras go crazy and everything starts getting slanted. Yeah, I can imagine that. Painting fur is not fun for anybody who's never tried to do it. It's so much work. It looks real easy, but man, is it a lot of work. And then, yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't think I touched anything else. I think I've thrown a couple more, like some of these longer wall segments that don't have anything now have ooh, you know what? I need to... These aren't centered. That's right, because the walls here are a different scale than the walls on the other side. So let's center those. There we go. And save. And then got one there. Several of these other ones that are like this have right now it's just gray textures for these areas. So like where we want to have mural, or we want to do murals or something like that, images. Right now it's just kind of a gray, plastery look, just to make it easier to remember that we want them. But yeah, essentially this will have some kind of mural, and then this one will as well. This one being more lore based, and then in here on those blank walls I did the shorter banners on those walls. Hey Regis, how's it going? I'm doing pretty well today. I'm just kind of showing off some of the stuff in Wormsbane real quick before I hop back over. But it looks like sorry. John just posted a meme in Slack and it made me laugh. But it looks like the server is back up. So let's hop over into the game now and do our tests. So that was kind of what I was up to. The organ looks great, even with no texture. Yeah, it will. Hopefully it'll look even better. I mean, I assume it'll look even better with texture on there. But the silhouette looks pretty good, and I like how those shadows are playing off of the ceiling and stuff like that. Yay, we can get in. And then what else we got? Will Wormsbane population be mostly skeletons and humans, or maybe something else? So the lore that we have written up without giving spoilers is zombies, skeletons, and like spectral ghosts for the most part. There is potential. Again, it hasn't. I mentioned this on the last stream. We want to have high level, low level dungeon interaction. And there's the potential that we decide to expand deeper into Wormsbane and have other stuff going on that is higher level, which could potentially have other other thematic enemies added. But for the moment, no. There is it's an undead zone. Is what the plans are at the moment. Oops. Yeah, this is not connected, so that's just a way to get to the water. And we have a fresh server, so let me mess up the times. Oops. Did I not? There we go. Oops. 6 a.m. Yeah, so yeah, that's why you see humans in there. Those will be spectral ghosts. And if you pay attention to the names, some of them are female, where they're currently a male. So those will definitely change once we get new models and stuff in there. So this is kind of that morning, but this is going to be like a sunrise thing. Let's do fly. Turn off collision. Hold it. Collision. Helps if you spell it correctly. And then this one would be more of a lit from above. I'm trying to see which is going to be a cooler effect. Set time. Make sure that's nothing. I'll have to answer that text later. Set time 12 a.m. Oops, 12 p.m. What did I? Oh, inverted it. Times it. Okay, now that looks kind of cool. We may go with this route. Let's go to 11 a.m. and see how it looks as it kind of transitions into that. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. Hey, Lord Zakram. Just kind of watching how the light plays off of this statue. What about the moonlight? We can test that too, buddy. Let's do PM. Yeah, it plays off of it. Although I have a torch in. Let's take the torch out. So yeah, it's subtle. The only thing is if we have any... I forgot I have the collision off as I walk through the wall. The only thing will be if it is... if there's any lighting in here like torches or braziers or anything like that, that's totally going to overpower it. Because even that starts to overpower the subtle moonlighting. Oops. Granted, again, for anybody who's just joining, the statue here is not representative of what this god is going to look like. It was me making something that looked kind of divine because I was thinking paladin and clerics in Wormsbane, and then I read the lore we had for the god that's actually being represented in there. Representationally did not match. So it matches more now. If you've been paying attention to what it looks like now, you might have an idea of what it potentially could be. Based off of... Ooh, I need to fix that. Okay, let's turn off the collision. And fly. There we go. You like it? Yeah, I think that's the route I'm going to go. We're going to have to play... I think the space itself is too small. And needs to be a little bit bigger. I do want it to be a smaller shrine feel as opposed to a slightly larger temple space. And then maybe smaller rooms kind of going off of it. But that's going to be one of the things we have to play with and get feedback on and stuff like that. And it looks like I've got a UV issue there. Do I have it on this side too? I do. What happened? Huh. I'll have to play with that. With the plan to have content, or a lot of content based on the time of day, could you sync up some of the statues to be bathed in light, maybe at a door's opening to expose a tomb entrance hidden? That's the kind of plan of stuff we want to do. And I've mentioned this before. Right now, our sun is very very much east-west, like straight, 12 o'clock is literally right above, like 100% above. So it's like we're dead at the equator. So the shadows, especially on this, like in the original Night Harbor, look kind of funky. Like from some angles, it almost look like bat ears, like Batman ears on the top of the building, just because the shadows go straight. Where, and, in reality, even if you're building like perfectly aligned east-west, there's some off axis because as the seasons change, the sun gets higher or lower in the sky. So hopefully we'll be able to support that type of seasonal stuff. So, you know, we can have that at certain time when the sun hits it type of alignment. And that's kind of similar to what I would be doing. So if I go turn my fly back on and my collision back on and fly over here, as I fly through all the walls, you know, it could be whether it's lit from above like this, or if it's something that needs to be more lit by like a ray of light popping in. If I'm able to just, you know, time set this, I can just, you know, sit there and be like, okay, 7 a.m. is not, you know, we want it at 7 a.m. on whatever day of the year. Set the time lighting to that and make sure that my geo is lining up. So that type of stuff essentially should be doable. It's just getting it all set up so that not only do we have a day-night cycle doing the rotation this way, that it's also taking into the season when it's, you know, and offsetting the height, how high it gets in the rotational. So what I'm trying to think. This would be X. One would be X. One would be Z. Is essentially what I'm trying to say, and tripping over my tongue in the process. Gold material with reflection of light, potentially. Although I know Sean's against relying too much on shiny materials. But for certain things, he you know, like the water, he's okay with. Goblin and I were playing around with some ideation on what we could be doing for crystals. We still have to figure out how we're going to do the crystal trees in salt flats or glass flats. That will be a fun one to experiment with. Another thing I need to do today is get this traversable so that we can get into this prison area. So maybe I'll do that next. But yeah, just trying to figure out how we want to get some of this stuff set up. Got some Indiana Jones stuff going on in here. Yeah, I want to play around with some fun things like that for sure. Oh, there we go. But yeah, there's definitely going to be some experimentation and stuff like that. So we'll see. Honestly, I think if we want there to be like golden god type stuff that, you know, it is trigger based, Sean might be more open to that as being a reason for a lot, you know, us kind of going against that not too shiny type mentality. But it's one of those things. We'll have to test it, see how it looks, see if it takes away kind of from what we've been doing, and go from there. Oop, and I do not want that to be moving by 32. I hit that way too many times. I'll leave that there for now. Where do I want this? I've been doing most of these more wooden on the interior. Maybe these larger ones will be more structurally sound. Oops, looks like this got adjusted and I forgot to move that, which probably means I did it over here too. Yep, I did. Dude, Paytas, did you know Molten Core was made in like 2 weeks? I did not, but I'm not terribly surprised. I haven't done Molten Core in forever. Granted, by me saying do Molten Core, I mean all of the raid content that I've experienced from WoW, I did on was it Orange Mango server or whatever the emulator for WoW was, the original one. So long time ago, 1 and 2, not legit in raid. It was more group based, or group or single person based. Solo. There's the word I'm looking for. Oh my god, my brain is not awake today apparently. But it's one of those things that once we have, I mean, the amount of stuff that we've already thrown into Wormsbane, and it's, you know, I've maybe spent, honestly I haven't added it up lately, so let's say 30 to 40 hours, 35 hours, something like that, into Wormsbane. Probably a little bit more because I haven't done some, you know, some of the texture, or playing around with the textures and stuff like that, so I take that back, probably a little bit more. But in that ballpark. It's only been a couple days worth of work. And that will get expedited as we get further and further with content. So the more textures we have, the more meshes and stuff we already have, the faster it is to get to that state. Because the layout isn't, you know, the layout shouldn't be too bad. Especially if it's like an interior space like that. That stuff shouldn't be too bad to do. When you have to build double sides to walls and everything like that, that's when stuff starts to slow down. At least for me. Okay, so that is 1.5 feet. I don't know, I may have to play around, but this section's gonna get played around with because I don't necessarily like that. But that might be something I play around more when I bring this into Maya. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oops. Here's the question. Do I want this to go in that way? Or do I want it to be more straight, like you're walking in? You know what? I think we'll do it this. I don't know. Decisions. You know what? We'll just keep it so you're actually going in kind of more straight. Is that? So this would be global. And sometimes Pro Builder, I swear. That looks right. Ah. Nope. Or yes. Oh, nope, that's using world. That was using it. Okay, we're good. I think. Except the height of this is wrong now. That is supposed to be right there. There we go. Move this down. Ooh, that's going outside. Hold on a second. Let's separate the inside and the outside so I'm not running edges all over the place. Less cleanup later. Okay. And detach. That is good. Come on. All right, whatever. And that will go down. And this should be enough that I can reuse. Where are you? My small 3-step of wooden stairs. Oops, threw it too far. And then shit. Let's delete this face. Oops, not that whole thing. That face. There we go. Come on. There we go. Hold on a second. That's... Okay, we're good. Let me make sure. Yeah, doubled something up. So let's get rid of those. Okay, looks good. So that walks down. That's got steps up. This will also have steps. These need to actually go to the wall. I thought they already did. Oh, come on. Do I have edges on this side? No, I do not. And we will test. Wow, that's... Oh, no. I was wrong. It is not. Now it is. Okay. So, let's shift this over. And that over. And that down. So that should go there. And there's going to be some doubling up of geo now. So let's collapse that. Like so. Actually, let's just collapse this too. You can get just, again, this is one of those things that I really wish I could just collapse stuff out of existence as opposed to having to merge. Or I didn't have to collapse it. I could just delete it. Make my life so much easier. Okay. Oh, that's fine. So then this comes over to here. Delete those. Oops, I forgot to move these back inside the wall before I did that. There we go. And then that isn't needed, which means that that are needed. Come on. That one is needed. Okay. Much better. And then this needs to snap there. And then this one needs to be snapped over here. And there. Okay. Sorry, I've been totally neglecting chat really badly today. I apologize, guys. I mean, to be fair, Molten Core isn't exactly very complex. No, it's not. At least from what I remember. Some of that shit happens to be bigger and have more health. Rag is the most complex part of it, and most of it, or most of the complexity, is just him being summoned. Yeah. That, and like environmentally, I don't remember it being that complex either. And honestly, it's been so long since I played even the solo one. I don't remember all of the mechanics in there. I'm sure it's one of those things that I could... if I sat down, I'd probably remember it if I really tried, but... I'm also getting to that point where some of the EQ stuff blends together. I remember the last TLP I did, like the Planes of Power stuff. I was like, oh, maybe Planes of Power is probably one of my favorite rating expansions. And there was definitely some parts that I had to sit there and refresh a little bit on, like, and when I mean a little bit, I mean mostly the like the thresholds and stuff like that when stuff would happen. Like I remember, you know, Terrasthul summons gargoyles at the end and has butterflies at one point, and all the, like, I remember those things. It was just like when that happened, I couldn't remember. And then some of it had been so long that like the AD fight, I remember back in the day, people thought it was the ads were based on percentage, but they're most definitely not, because I think we killed AD and had most of them still asleep because it was time based. Okay, let's take a look now that I can actually get into the prison. Obviously, prison doors and, you know, set dressing and stuff like that needs to happen, but still in the blockout phase. You know what? I just realized I don't have any music going. We can listen to the game music. Oh, it looks like I missed a follow. Suryu09, thank you for the follow. Apologize for not noticing it earlier. Alright, let's run over here. And let's time set 6 a.m. So that works now. The reason there's stone on there is I'm not sure if I've hit the max of vertex color with Pro Builder, but it was messing up, and I just wanted to see some contrast. We need to get some metal materials done at some point. Cool. Excuse me. So that works. Now we're gonna need some elevation change, at least going up. Potentially I could build stuff going down as well, but I do want us to be able to get up on top of the wall that is the prison. How I want to do that, though, is a good question. Let's get my character out of here, just so that he doesn't get caught up in the geo in some weird way. And we'll start to block that out. And then that'll probably take me up pretty close to the end of the stream. for today. Oops. It's funky. Oh, also, no, I'm not going to mess with that yet because I think I'm going to keep this look. The question is, do I want it over here or do I want it over here? I'll figure that out later. But we do want this to have a doorway. So let's why is that? Oh, you know what? I know why it's doing that. It's because I'm grabbing the entire thing and it probably isn't aligned all the way across, and it's not. There we go. That's better. Yeah, the prisoners will have a nice view. I did think about that when I was building it the other day, or yesterday. I was like, oh man, they're gonna get some. Then you get a nice view. Granted, you know, maybe watching this view, watching the, you know, like the military might and stuff go around, might not have the best. You know what? Maybe I'm gonna have to play around with these when I bring them into Maya. Potentially move them slightly so there's a little bit more space. But prison cell with a view. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There we go. Probably would have been easy. I keep doing that, or I keep counting these, where it's just way easier to look up and count those. I don't know why I keep doing that. Okay, so that is where that needs to go. Is this centered? Something is not centered. What is not centered? Oh. I made these longer than these. So not only do they get the nice ocean view as opposed to the port, they also have a larger space to run around. Shoot. Ah! Was not what I wanted to do. It's gonna be a pain in the ass, especially since I can't see. Oop. I need to mute. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. Had to answer that call real quick. Alright, so we will attempt. This is not going to end well. You know what? Let's do it this way. Now that I'm really thinking about it, this is probably way, way faster. A way to select all this. Except inside these are still going to be annoying. Oops. Okay. So how many more did I make that? Made these 4, 6. So basically 5.5. 5.5? Yeah, 5.5. What are those? 3.5. So these need to go 2. 1, 2. How much space does that give down the hallway? I think that's acceptable. It should now allow me to center this. Oops. There we go. Crisis averted. Well, almost. There we go. Much better. Okay, which also means that these need to be deleted. This needs to be duplicated. Move down. And then I got to clean up this stuff again. So we'll duplicate that. That looks pretty good. And then we just need to bridge that, and we will combine those. Or not those, we just need to combine the one. Because this can go to actually, no, we can leave that there. That's fine. And then we need to delete that. There we go. Better. And centered. Although I kind of want to raise the ceiling slightly. At least on this top part. Is that gonna mess anything up? Yeah, I'm gonna have to fix those in a second. Yeah, there we go. That's not coming through this, right? Yeah. See, I thought I left that a fairly thick ceiling. Cool, looking pretty good. Alright, so save that, and then we will need something to get us up here. I may end up like essentially walling this, so this ends up being a hallway, and then there's like a stairwell going inside. I don't know. I'll have to play with that. That's gonna be something I probably end up doing off stream at this point, because it's almost time for me to get off for today. So let me run around real quick. It's definitely tighter in the hallway. Oop, that needs to get fixed. Can I fall through that? Here's a test of how small of a space I can get when I shrink. Not quite. I wonder if a shrunken gnome could get through that. Probably. Oh, oh, I lied. Alright, how many of those? Oh, man. Is it everyone that I mirrored? Oh, God. I meant to clean all those up now. Is it on this side, too? Does not appear to be. Okay, so it's just one side. Oop, and I need to fix that seam. Other than that, this is feeling better. Yeah, so I don't know, maybe this could potentially be... Do I want this straight? Or maybe this will be like a walled off balcony, and then it comes around here, so it can have like double gates or something to get into, which would make sense for a prison. So you end up coming in here and open up a gate, go in there. Something like that. I'll play around with the walls a bit. But for the most part, I'm fairly happy with how this is coming. There needs to be some more, like, you know, kind of nook and cranny wall, like, rooms and stuff off the sides of these. Maybe some more, like, the actual, like, barracks rooms that I can just kind of copy-paste, make doorways for. Some more of these style rooms. Although these might need to be larger. Or just have, like, a second spot coming off of them. But these will have, like, basically beds in them. And then this will be more like dining, like mess hall type area, again, with the kitchen in here. and then this will be just like crates and stuff for like food storage. Cool. All right, guys, I'm gonna start wrapping up this stream. For anybody who is not aware of what we're doing, we are making an MMORPG, an indie MMORPG. That is very grounded in the classic first generation of MMOs. So think your EverQuests, your Ultima Onlines, Asheron's Call, games like that are you know, very much inspiring the experience that we are trying to create. And then we have a website if you'd like to check out more about our game. Feel free to click on that link. The second link is to our Discord, which I didn't check this morning. How many people? Wow, we're at 947. Closing in on 1,000 real quick. But we have a decent sized community that's been growing pretty quickly the last couple weeks, which is awesome. Feel free to hop in there. We've also, you know, if you have any questions about the game, you know, all the development team is in there. We're all pretty good at answering questions and things like that. So feel free to hop in there. We also have, you know, just general game design discussions. We have, you know, we talk about other games, tabletop games. We have members sharing art and stuff now, which is always fun to see. So feel free to join that. If you'd like to stay up to date with the game and not join the Discord, though, that is our mailing list. So you want to join that. Occasionally we'll send out surveys and updates and stuff like that. Also, we're hoping to have people from the community helping us some testing at some point before the end of the year. It's kind of our goal. So if you are interested in that, you'll definitely want to be on the mailing list. These are other team members who stream their various parts of the development process. Sean does a little bit of everything now. He's been doing helping me with blocking out additional zones while I've been majority focused here on Night Harbor, which is our city zone, and doing a first prop pass on our newbie dungeon, which I showed off earlier. Excuse me, which is called Tomb of the Last Wormsbane. And then he's been helping Zukin with animations. And then he kind of shows off some stuff as well. Zukin does our characters, our critters, does some texture work, does some animation work. So if you're interested in that type of stuff, check out Zukin's. Goblin does textures, concept art, sometimes animation. Most of his streams, I think, are concept art based. But he does do some other stuff on those as well. Nick hasn't streamed in a bit, but he does Q&A and design work on his streams. And then Ali hasn't actually streamed anything on here, but he did upload some videos from a game jam to our YouTube channel. So if you want to catch up on everybody's VODs, past VODs, YouTube is a great place to do that. If you are watching on YouTube, please remember to like and subscribe, comment below and all that to help us out with the algorithm, to help get the game out to more people. We really appreciate it. Also, if you are watching on YouTube and you want to participate in the live chats, which I need to update my my setup here, so it's a little easier to read. But if you are interested in joining in the live chats, there should be a link somewhere in the description for my Twitch channel, Pay to Stranger. Make sure to throw a like or a follow to the channel so you get notified when I do go live, which currently is Monday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and Wednesdays at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then the streams usually go about 2 hours, sometimes a little over, sometimes a little under. But about 2 hours. And then next week I'm hoping to start adding Friday stream where I'll play on like the new TLP that's coming out a week from like right now, essentially, because I think it's supposed to be 3 Eastern, 2 or 3 Eastern. So next week's I might actually make my characters on stream. So and then kind of run around GFA and have some fun. So should be 3. I haven't decided when. I might do that as a morning stream. I might do that as just another kind of noon, 1 o'clock stream, something like that. So we'll see what the Friday one is, but I'm hoping to add that next week. Regis, what do you say? I watch all things, but haven't been able to watch Sean's lately. He started streaming way earlier than I can get on. It's 8 a.m. my time when he streams now. Yeah, that's about. I think we must Eastern Standard Time too then, Regis, because I think it's 8 or 9 a.m. my time. But I'm usually up and at this point and starting to dive into whatever I'm working on that day when he's going. So it's kind of nice to have him going around showing stuff off as I'm like level designing and blacking stuff out. Yep, awesome. Alright guys, I am done for the day. I need to go run downstairs real quick, and I will see you guys on Monday. Have a good weekend.